Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another bonus edition, I guess, of the Missing Links post-game live stream podcast thing. I'm Andrew Dukowitz from Zone Coverage. You're going to hear dogs crying in the background. For most of this, they're not abused. My wife is just in a wedding in Florida, and when the dogs are not in the same room with me, you would think they're going to have a nervous breakdown. So just be prepared for some whining. Also be prepared.
Oh, there we go. I heard that. Yeah.
They're already here. And that's Seerat Sohi from the Ringer WNBA Show. How's it going?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. My dog is in the room with me right now because it just simply cannot be any other way if I want to have clean audio at all.
It's like, so I have 3 Dobermans. So like if one of them could be in the room with me, it would be fine. But then they would have separation anxiety from each other. So then all 3 of them would be in the room. And then it's like one thing sets all of them off. I would get trampled. It's just a disaster.
No, it's untenable. You're outnumbered. I got one guy over there who is ripping up a blanket. And
I mean, that's fine.
That's what he does. He's stimming.
He's keeping the vibes good. Well, Seerat, thanks for doing this. I feel like we've been indirect Twitter friends forever, and nice to finally like meet you, talk to you, and get you on the pod.
Yeah, you too. We've been sharing faves and retweets for far too long. I think it's good that you finally made the overture, and now we get to do what we're meant to do together, which is podcast.
I was like, you know what? It's finally time. I'm basically Canadian. I'm in Minnesota. Like it's
true. Yeah.
We have to get together and do this. Gonna talk a ton of Lynx today, but first, like, weird story that I could bring up. And your Google search history is like a mystery. So instead of like asking you about business school or something, I just want to know, like, growing up, because I also am certified from business school, but like growing up and getting into basketball, like who were the players that most like influenced how you see and enjoy the game?
I didn't know that my Google search history was scraped like that. So, but that's news to me, and I'm frankly thrilled about that. That's awesome. Not that I was Black Ops or anything. I loved Steve Nash. Growing up in Canada, I am 5'6". I played point guard. I love a passer. I love Olivia Miles. I love creative, unselfish basketball players that see the floor really well. When I became a huge NBA fan, then I was a huge LeBron James and Steph Curry fan. I'm a huge Caitlin Clark fan. Those are kind of like the types of basketball players that I gravitate towards. Like the ones that are sort of, communicating even a level of personality with how they play, but really how they think about the game.
So this is going to be our first rift. I am a massive Jason Kidd fan. Like what Steve Nash was to you, Jason Kidd was to me. And Steve Nash stole a lot of his thunder. I mean, let's just be honest.
I just feel like I win that one automatically.
I mean, better like rebounder, better defender, won a
better
championship.
Cooler guy. Guy you'd rather have a beer with. Better.
Those are all fair points. Those are all fair points.
2-time MVP, I might say.
Has only been fired from one team.
I don't know how many broken noses. Honestly, probably better highlight package as well.
I would push back on that one. Jason Kidd has some crazy highlight packages, but like growing up, I really appreciated Steve Nash. I watched a lot of like Phoenix, but it was always the like bitterness of like, I was a Nets fan growing up. So like, how can these people keep rewarding Steve Nash when he's not playing defense and getting rebounds like Jason Kidd is? And now, like, as you get older, it's kind of like, oh, he was just like a generational shooter that didn't shoot the ball as much as he probably should have. And he really kind of raised the floors of those teams. Whereas Jason Kidd was just more of like a bulldozer, but same like floor reading vibes. Like I do feel they had similar vision at least, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask you before we get into it, rules, WNBA or NBA, if you could change one thing about the game, what would you change? Whether it's a rule, whether it's what?
Replay review.
Oh my
I hate
God.
it. I hate
Yep.
it so much. It is absolutely my least favorite part of
It's
watching a game. It ranks way above everything else too, because it completely takes me out of the game. And I think, I'll cop to this. I'm just like everybody else. I have a very short attention span now. So if you kind of like throw something into the mix that's going to make me not want to watch the game, I will end up on my phone. I will end up petting my dog. I will end up just reading some article, and then all of a sudden, like the game's back on, and I'm like, I just can't get back into it. And you can blame me for that, absolutely. I am a product of a failed generation of people who just like haven't taken enough self accountability about some of these things. But I am who I am, and I think most people are probably like me.
I want them gone. Like that is my number one thing too. Like abolish replays.
It'll all come out in the wash.
Right. Like we for 70 years had good basketball without replays. We don't need them. They can just go away. I hate the time of them. I hate when you're like watching a game. I will say like there is some strategy to it. Like I do think like Cheryl Reeve in particular, if it's like 2 minutes left and she, wants to call a timeout, she'll just replay something because you get like an extra 6 minutes to rest your players. And that irritates me. Like that irritates me that it's like she's using replays to benefit her team. And I just get to sit here and stare at
You know what I also don't like about it? It's the step towards like there's just so much AI creep in our society right now where so many things have either become automated or just shitified to a point where for a lot of people, it wouldn't make a difference if you replace the human with artificial intelligence. And that's because we have stopped allowing humans to operate at like the highest capacity that they can, or we've taken them out of the picture. We've taken like just like split second human judgment out of the picture. I think the more you go towards replay review, and we've already seen the NBA is using AI for just the stupidest reasons right now. Like the WNBA, like Indiana Fever just use AI for like just graphics. And it's incredibly obvious. It doesn't seem like any of these companies really want to back away from it. And I have this fear that is like we continue to complain about refereeing and we have like issues with like replay review and things like that. The answer isn't going to be like to scale it back to just like let human beings make the best judgment that they can. It's going to be, why don't we have this, this like program that we think, or we're trying to convince you is smarter than people, come in and replace human judgment, and we're going to pretend like it's not biased or flawed in any possible way. So yeah, I just have a lot of, thoughts right about where we're heading, but
I share most of them. Like, I don't want robo refs. I will say for Lynx fans that are like adding me on social medias of like, well, why don't we just get robo refs? Like the amount of you guys that like make signs for Roy, like attacking him during games. I don't know what Lynx fans would do without referees to yell at. Like, I think that would just like genuinely, they would have more toxicity in their lives if they didn't get it out at different refs. So like, I don't think that's like the option. I just like it all turns out fine. Like when people blow their challenges early in the game, it ends up being a fine game. I
guess you know what the funny thing about it is, I hadn't considered the audience, and the Lynx fans have gone through very recent history where actually it hasn't been fine. It might have cost them a championship.
Yeah, that one's probably gonna hurt when people are listening to it tomorrow. But I mean, the other thing is, even like last night, right? What was it? Like Court misses a free throw. Looks like the Valkyries are going to get the rebound. They end up having an inadvertent whistle, doing a jump ball at center court instead of like under the Lynx basket. Like everything about it was weird and zany. And like, that's the stuff I live for with officials, is just some of the drama of it, of like, how can they just make this weird? Which I don't know. I feel like if it was just all automated and there was never any human error, we would lose that part of it, of like a big part of the content side of just how weird it is, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably on an island with that one. I like weird officiating. I want consistent weird officiating though.
Mm-hmm.
Consistency, but
But
like
make it
you
weird.
can do weird things like call an inadvertent whistle with 5 seconds left.
Yeah, well, the thing is, there would still be
Yeah,
so much
that's where I'm
error.
gonna.
It
That's
just wouldn't be human error. And if you think that
yeah.
adding robots into the mix would make people be less conspiratorial about what about what's actually going on, I don't think that would necessarily be the case either.
Yeah, if a robot made the decision and Kathy's wearing the New York skyline, I think that would have ended even worse.
It would be, yeah, absolutely. It would be way more catastrophic. And it could, I don't know if it could have actually been worse.
I mean, we just found the way it could have been worse is if a robot made that call. Like that would have made it, that would have made it really bad. Let's talk Lynx though, and let's just start off. Let's do the thing 11 minutes in that you're actually here to talk about. But like, let's start off with Olivia Miles because I feel like I sprung this on you last second before we hit to go live. Of just you were one of the few people I feel like that were really kind of certain that the Lynx were going to go with Olivia Miles at the number 2 overall pick. And I'll preface this by saying like I'm a beat reporter for the Lynx, right? Like I'm around the team. I like to think I know what the team is going to do. I thought there was no way they were going to draft Liv. Like I just thought Cheryl with a rookie point guard, turnover issues at TCU, like some of the shooting stuff. I just was like, Cheryl's going to avoid that. But my nationwide apology to her for getting that one wrong is going to be going for the next probably 20 years. But you were spot on.
Well, I had a little bit of intel, which helped me. I don't know that my intuitively I would have thought that they were going to go with Olivia. I do think that she was and is like, either if you were to do a redraft right now, she'd probably go number 1, maybe number 2. I think her and Awa Fam are 2 generational picks in this draft. And I think that if, I was just like flying blind, I would have thought, okay, well, Cheryl's probably going to go with a big here. Like Minnesota has a rebounding issues. And then you also have this storied history of Minnesota being able to develop bigs, and you have Rebecca Brunson on the assistant coaching staff. So like, to me, I don't know if that's the direction you were thinking. That probably makes sense. There were also a ton of AZ rumors. But to be honest, like they were, I wasn't there, but from what I like was able to glean, Minnesota was basically just like following Olivia around the Big 12 tournament. Like it was by the time that the Big 12 tournament rolled around, it felt very clear that they were really, really locked in on her being the pick. So that was really why. It was really just that. Like out of all of the other sort of, like, you hear random rumors, like I heard AZ to Minnesota a ton as well. For some reason that was just the one that stuck with me, and I can't remember if it was because who told, I can't remember if it was because who told me or whatever. I do believe, like, and there is that sort of thing of like there's certain people that like you talk to and they get it right more often than not, so you trust them. So I do think it was like I think it was an element of that more than anything else. It wasn't like any special sort of like, like I don't have an X-ray into Cheryl Reeve's brain by any means.
Yeah, I was just looking at it of like AZ is kind of a prototypical Cheryl player, like plays hard on defense, good movement good movement before getting the ball, good shooter. And I was just looking at it of like, all right, you have your K-Mac replacement if you go AZ. If Dallas goes AZ, Awa Fam, by all accounts, sounds like she's going to be like a generational big in the league. Like 19-year-old ball of clay that you can kind of mold next to Fee. I was like, those make sense. Cheryl with a rookie point guard, just based off of everything her offense and defense like relies on a point guard to do. I was just like, nah, that can't be actually what was happening. And then I did start to hear like some stuff like going up to the draft from some people that I trust that were like, no, I think it's going to be Miles. And I was just like, nah, that doesn't meet all of my preconceived notions. So that can't be it. I mean, again, my apology to her looks like it's going to last a couple decades because she's been awesome, right?
She's been amazing. Well, I think that's maybe part of the reason that Cheryl potentially overlooked the point guard aspect of it, because Olivia Miles has been like a genius among geniuses. Like these are already high level players. It's an offense that requires a level of IQ. I've always talked about the Lynx as sort of like when you talk about deadline and who they can add, I always talked about them like a Ferrari. Like there are very specific parts that you can add to a Ferrari. And they've tried with certain players and it just hasn't fit. With Olivia, I'm just so impressed with like the command that she has over veteran teammates who have decided implicitly to trust her. And that tells me that in the practices, in the film sessions, she is showing them that she is going to put them in good positions to succeed. And she, by and large, has, especially like, look, Natasha Howard is somebody who I think is one of the more versatile pick and roll players in the W, but also somebody that it can take a while to get used to playing with because of that versatility. She's really smart. She will stop short on the short roll. She will like pop to a corner instead of like to the wing if she feels like that's the best spacing. Like, and she can just do so many different things in that area. And I think that Liv has just known exactly where to get her the ball and has had this sort of like telepathic connection with her as far as where she's going to be. So that sort of relationship has developed immediately. Right, Court has just been like, cool, I'm the two guard, and yeah. Like with K-Mac, like she's getting better looks too. So I think like ultimately, like I think players respect IQ, they respect game, and if you can show them that you have game and that you're gonna actually like help them get closer to their goal, they're gonna be behind you, and like that's been true. And she's also just done it with so much flair.
It's been wild listening to the players talk about her. Like Natasha Howard, I asked a couple weeks ago of just like, have you ever played with someone that's just figured it out this fast? Because like Tosh wasn't in training camp. She missed most of it playing in China, showed up and then like had a week with Liv, and then they're in the regular season and Liv is just kind of crushing it. And she just like thought for a couple seconds and was like, no. Like no one's been able to figure it out with me this fast. Like that's someone that's played with Waylon, Caitlin Clark, Sue Bird, and like to sit there and like think about it and be like, yeah, no, it's Liv. Like Nia Coffey, Liv has kind of figured out where she likes it on the wings. You mentioned Court. I mean, Court, part of it is she was just thrilled to not be a point guard anymore. I think that was kind of like breaking her soul as a basketball player. But like it is just this like presence and this like computer processing brain that Liv has, where like even Tierra McGowan, who like just got here, I was talking to her about it and she's like, yeah, no, Liv just knows how to pass to bigs and like knows where people want it and like has this innate ability to figure out like your spots before like you even really feel comfortable talking about it, which again, it's just it's insane for somebody that's played 10 games in the league.
No, I absolutely agree. It's astounding. And I think maybe like you think about her background, Cheryl Reeve has mentioned this, like both of her parents are engineers. She's somebody who asks a lot of questions. I imagine she's in the practices sort of asking like very specific questions about like, like where do you like it on the block? Like, where's your shooting pocket? Things like that. She just seems very detail oriented about things. And then like the other aspect of it is like the reads have just been so easy for her. She's always been a player that's manipulated angles really well. And I think that getting into the WNBA, like as opposed to actually having an adjustment period, I think the extra level of space that she gets to play with now gives her longer passing windows. And she can also kind of like, you have a little bit of like a longer sort of runway going from the 3-point line to the hoop. So she's like putting defenders in cages. She can make more use of like a hesitation dribble going into like a really quick move. Her finishing at the rim has been incredible. Her rim pressure in general and the way that she's creating layups. Number 1 and number 2 in the WNBA so far in layups are Olivia Miles and Natasha Howard. So just, yeah, I don't know. Like yeah, exactly. Hannah Meacock Ross says Olivia Miles is a basketball engineer. Exactly.
I mean, again, like Waylon's on the coaching staff, right? So like talk to Waylon about it and she's like, yeah, Liv is just kind of like a workaholic. She always wants more film. She always wants more like details. She wants more work. I think the other thing that really endeared her to this team right away is like all of the veterans have talked about how hard she took the first 2 losses of this season, where like she was going into like a depression from losing like a WNBA game, and Court and K-Mac had to kind of like help her get out of it, of just like this, we're gonna lose games. And I think that goes a long way of just like when you see a kid that's taking it that hard and you're like Todd, who's a 13-year veteran, like I feel like you just have a different comfort level, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, my dog just distracted me. Again, this is like the perils of live. Like,
I also have ADHD, so you are just fine. Moral of the story: Liv, delightful with her teammates. I think the other thing that I just really appreciate about her is just like she's so authentic, right? Like,
yes.
The hair, the goggles, she talks about like the feelings of being a rookie point guard, like what it meant to her for Cheryl to like pick her and like call her a talent, like what it meant for her to for Courtney to move around, like in a world that's so inauthentic, like just to have I mean, especially with the league right now, where like, you know, the influx of European players and there's kind of worries about like Black women in the league, like to just have like a rookie superstar Black woman that is so proud of like who she is. It's honestly like gives me hope in humanity a little bit. Where do you sit on that though?
I mean, I think it's amazing, you know, like her hair, draft night, the goggles. I think the afro is just so cool, right? Like it's obviously it is a historical political statement. The afro and in like the history of Black political movements, it is a symbol of resistance. It's a symbol of creativity. It's a symbol of solidarity, of political power, and of saying, I'm not gonna like give into this colonial construct of how you want me to look, which I think is amazing in and of itself. And it's funny because it's like even the goggles too, like even the afro was something that was more so historically seen that way too. And when you watch her play, like she kind of reminds you of like like it's like I feel like she is teleported out of the 70s. Like she's got like Kareem's goggles and Dr. J's like afro and Magic Johnson's passing flair and I'm sorry I keep mentioning like men's basketball players, bear with me here, but I think that she combines just like a lot of like the joy and creativity that is frankly like so like just tied to what basketball is, what it means as a sport in America. And it's all authentic. Like she has a natural joy with how she plays. Like you see in the dribble moves, when she skips, when she dribbles, the trash talk, like the getting the crowd riled up, right? It almost like it's interesting because it is such a statement, but it feels so of her that you don't even like think about it a lot of the times. Like it's just like such a hand in glove thing. And it's also like there's a touch of nerdiness to it as well, like the way that she embraces the goggles, and it's cool because it's like like why would like a generational passer not be wearing goggles and like hitting you with one of these at the same time, right? Like she looks like simultaneously it's like the political statement of it, but then it's like she looks like a mad scientist, like what's like the next like passing angle that I'm gonna invent in basketball. So it's just it's awesome.
She also like plays a lot of 2K and plays a lot of Call of Duty and like is a nerd, like bought a window for her cat in the like team apartments so like the cat can go out over the street. Like everything about her is just she plays as a center when she's playing 2K, which like my brain can't like how do you like just
wait, who does she play with? Who are her players?
She does like my career, so she has like
and she starts as a center in my career.
That's insane.
Sicko. That's so sick.
Insane. That's like everyone I play with that is a center, it's like they weren't good enough as a guard, so it's like you need to go play center and like take
Yeah.
one for the team this year. And
Yeah.
Liv is just like, nah, I have 3 or 4 different builds. That's what I like to use.
Yeah.
Like that's insanity. Like
What a
everything about
sicko.
her.
I love that. I love that. She's so
Like
awesome.
every opportunity we get to talk to her, like I leave it just kind of a little bit more of like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Like I get why Cheryl has the confidence in it, or I get why like everyone on the team is kind of already like anointed her as like the leader of this team. I mean, you can kind of see it on the court too. Like when she asks for the ball, everyone kind of like their head snaps back to her. It's again, it's someone that's played 10 games. That's the most fascinating part to me, is just she's so early in her career.
Yeah, I actually looked this up just earlier today, but Olivia Miles, 10 games in, 17 points per game, 6.5 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 turnovers, 1.5 steals, shooting incredibly efficiently, 50, 34, 91 from 92 if you round up. Very similar to the last 2 point guards in the draft. Caitlin Clark, 17 points, 6.5 rebounds, 5.6 turnovers. Paige Becker's 18 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, a block, and only 2 turnovers. The statistical similarities between all 3 of those players, of course, Olivia Miles has had more success team-wise, and I think like I added the team stuff, and people have been kind of pushing back against me for adding that, but it's sort of like, look, like
wins
I
matter.
wasn't talking about like the Minnesota Lynx without Nafisa Collier and Dorka Juhas after just losing Jessica Shepard and Alana Smith, and Natisha Heidemann as being the number 1 seed in the WNBA. Like, to me, she does deserve credit for the wins, and of course she has had the luxury of having Cheryl Reeve be her coach. I don't want to understate that aspect of it, but she's a huge part of why they're winning these games. So I feel like it is relevant. And the other thing that makes it really relevant too is that like she's had no adjustment period at all. She also has like the highest net rating on the team. They're like it's not like they're like she's just steady and they're like doing their thing and like she's just like a beneficiary. She has a plus 20 net rating. It like I don't know. I mean, like I haven't checked how much like what it is when she's off.
20. She has a plus 20 net rating. She's the second most isolated player on defense. If you would have told me that Olivia Miles would have the second most isolations drawn up against her, with her as the primary defender, and she would have a plus 20 net rating, I wouldn't have believed it. Like I would have refused that data. Like, just nope, that's not happening.
So where are you actually? I want to ask you this question because I look at the numbers, I watch the games, but it just hasn't been like I will admit that watching Olivia Miles one-on-one defense closely has not been like a huge priority for me.
You do have a lot of other things to do.
What's going on? Can you explain?
I honestly, it's Cheryl. Like that's just what it is. Like when Liv gets put on an island, and it is just, we kind of saw it a little bit last night with Golden State, where like, if she's trying to guard like a Gabby Williams and they get the corner on her, like she gets cooked still. But a lot of it is just like on draft night, I asked Cheryl about like the defense, because like Cheryl, if you don't play defense, you don't play. Like that's just how she runs this team. And she was pretty firm in her belief that like it wasn't that Liv is a bad defender, it's that she was allowed to get away with stuff.
That was so funny of her to just like be so straight up about that,
like as direct as possible.
Yeah.
And then I remember asking Liv about it in training camp, and Liv was just like, yeah, Cheryl basically doesn't F around with this stuff. Like if you're not playing excellent defense, like she's on you. And I think that's part of it, is just like there is a certain level of like institutional expectation of this. You also have like K-Mac and Court, who are like busting their asses constantly on defense, and like if you're Liv and you're not playing at that same effort level, like I don't know. I don't know how well
Yeah.
that goes over in the locker room when like K-Mac played like 39 and a half minutes in one of these games at like 33 years old. I do think the other side of it is just like they have done really good jobs, whether it's like Ola Kosu off the bench, Tosh Howard, Coffee, of just like having that low man help being able to like shift in there and then rotating back and kind of staying together. They've kind of switched a lot of their defense where they're giving up more threes now to players that are like average 3-point shooters in order to just make sure nothing happens at the rim and that they're like the best defensive rebounding team in the league, which with Lan, it was a lot more of like, we're just going to bank on Lan being able to kind of Rudy Gobert this and figure it out, and we'll cover the shooters. So again, like we can get more into the Lynx surprise of it now, I guess, because it makes sense. But like, honestly, a lot of it is just Cheryl. Like, you give her the players that are going to have the buy-in, and you give her like people that are going to work hard, and she can kind of do this with anyone, I think.
Yeah. She's I'm gonna find I always mess up the pronunciation of this, so I got to get it right. But
if I hear AI telling you how to say it in the background,
absolutely not. You will absolutely not. I'm actually looking for an old podcast rundown. Okay, you know what? I don't remember his name. But there's an Italian chef who is like really big on preservation of food. And she runs a restaurant in Milan where they take all of the ingredients used over the city, like in supermarkets and restaurants that were going to be thrown out, and they make gourmet meals for people who normally would not be able to afford them. And he's also has this meal that's like 5 different kind of cheeses, it's like he takes like Parmesan and like cooks in 5 different kinds of ways. Like there's a cracker, there's like the actual Parmesan block, there is like a foam, there is like a shredded version, like there's, and it's like all one meal. And to me, like, this is a level, this is what Cheryl Reeve is to me. She is like, she is the type of like coach that is a chef that is actually more impressive when you take away her best ingredients, because that's when it really forces her to cook. So she goes and she takes a Nia Coffee, who's on like the edge of the rotation in Minnesota, or sorry, in Atlanta, and has always like kind of, I felt like, this is a 3-and-D player. I don't really understand why she's not doing
really
more.
Good Sparks season in 2020. Then
and also like, this is what she did with Lan. This is what she did with Courtney Williams as well, and just finds a way to like make those players shine. She looks at what Natasha Howard was doing in Indiana and says like, well, I think we can use her a little bit better than that. And hey, Natasha Howard, that MVP season was potentially being delayed. So like, it's just magic what she's able to do with players, and like the way that she's able to put like different sort of pieces to, like, in the right position to succeed. And like, I just can't wait for Nafisa Collier to be back, because then you have this year's best pick and roll duo, you have last year's best pick and roll duo, and you're gonna have them on the court at the same time.
Yep. I've been struggling so far through the first 10 games of this, which Ben brings up. Can we talk about Nia Coffey's 6 blocked threes, already a WNBA record? Absolutely. Yeah, that's, I'm going to be honest. Like I, since she went to Hopkins, like, you kind of get to know people around the Twin Cities, and like one of the writers was doing something on kind of her history. I think they'd feel okay with me sharing this. Like, I guess like Nia Coffey in high school used to try and like dunk on everybody in games. And it's like,
I love that.
That's kind of the same vibe that you get with the 3-point blocks, where it's almost just like a disrespect thing at this point, where she's able to get it. But like, I mean, Cheryl coming into the season kind of last day of training camp said, hey, this is probably going to be a lot closer to 2023 than 2024, 2025. Like, I don't know what this is going to look like. And that was kind of everybody's expectation in the media too. Like I feel like I was on the more positive side of it. And I was like, if they can just stay 500, get like pissed off Warpath feedback, make it into the playoffs as like a 5 seed. And then, you know, you take your chances and see what happens. You're a sprained ankle away from something really good happening instead of bad. Honestly, though, like this team's been awesome. Like everything, every advanced stat, like they're holding opponents to under 40% shooting. They're third in the league in defensive threes. Assist to turnovers is a little shaky, but like some of that is just Liv having these like heat check passing moments. Third in offense, first in defense, first in net, best record. Like it's like they haven't dropped off at all. And they're running like completely different systems from last year. Like offensively, it's a rim pressure, pick and roll, like let's just go 100 miles per hour. And defensively, it's just this like really good drop, like help scramble scheme that is just, again, like there's 9 new players on this roster, and Cheryl was just able to kind of formulate the best team in basketball on the fly, which I don't know, I guess from like a national perspective, like how do you think she does this?
She's a genius. I don't know. Like I think she just sees strengths where other people see weaknesses.
Yeah.
Like ultimately, I think that's what it is. I think it's better scouting. I think she's sharper than everybody else. I think that I mean, honestly, a lot of this stuff seems like rocket science, like, but like it's even with Olivia as well, right? Like when you're asking as many questions as she's asking, like everybody in the WNBA works hard. Some people work just a little bit harder than everybody else.
It's just
or they're
crazy.
Just a little bit smarter.
Yeah. I mean, it's just to your fee point, like everything that this offense is kind of struggling with right now, like K-Mac is struggling to get shots to fall. Fee comes in, she's not getting doubled anymore. Like that's just open. Tosh is getting wide open, kind of pick and dives. If Fee is standing in that like mid-range corner area, like they're not sending a double off of Fee to slow that down. And like to me, that's the scary part, is just at some point they're going to have the second best player in basketball back. And like, if you're a defense, what do you do? And then if you're an offense, like this is the best defense getting a 3-time all defensive player back. Like, again, what do you do? Which I think there's probably a certain amount of Cheryl where she's just kind of laughing about all this of like, but it is kind of insane they've been able to just pull this off.
Yeah. One thing I think about a lot with when Fee comes back is she gonna have one of like the all-time most efficient, like easy sort of getting to, like I don't know what the actual scoring number is going to be because they have such a well-balanced attack, but she's already like a 50-40-90 type of player. When she comes back, it's like you are now going to be getting passes from Court and Liv. And I just don't know if there's anybody in the world that can make your life as easy as those two can.
No. And then the players around her, like you have a legit stretch 4 in Coffee. You have, I would assume Tosh is going to be starting. Dorka at some point is going to be back as like a stretch 5. Like it's, I don't know. It's kind of an embarrassment of riches. The thing that I've kind of fallen back onto with Cheryl though, and I wanted your thoughts on it, is just, I think people who cover the team see it quite a bit of just like, you know, she's not the person that's like snapping clipboards on the bench as much. Like she is like a genuinely really good person. She like Tiara McCowan said, you know, she's the new person on the team. And she's like, yeah, Cheryl had a meeting with me and told me to like, just have fun. And like, no one's ever said that.
Yeah.
K-Mac last year was going through some stuff coming into the season, and like, none of us knew it at the time, but she had been in town for like a couple weeks and just missing games. And she's like, me and Cheryl would just sit in the office for like 4.5 hours a day, just talking. And it's like, I do think when the leadership of a team, whether it's Court, K-Mac, Fee, has like that type of relationship with a coach, and then the new players are also coming in and being like, oh, they just want me to like enjoy life and like play good basketball. I think that might be her superpower more than anything else, is just the personal side of it, which I don't think she gets enough credit for.
No, I don't think she does, because I think that when we think about her, we almost think about her as like this, like sort of like Miranda Priestley, like Lydia Tarr type of like just highly competent woman who is like very unforgiving of mediocrity and has like very specific taste and is very specific about how she does everything, and she's intellectually rigorous, and it makes her hard to question. And you know, she's been the head of this ship and she has the championship, so like if you're gonna come in, you're gonna have to live up to her standard, and she's very, very serious about what that standard is, and she's like, and she knows what that standard is, right? But what she doesn't get enough credit for is like the human side of this, right? Like I think even with Olivia, one of the things that she said about the organization, and like this is Cheryl, like, is that she like is excited to play for a place where she's going to be able to like give back to the community and use her platform to stand on things that she really cares about, right? And with Cheryl, like she's always given her players the freedom and the empowerment to do things like that. I think that she understands like who they are as human beings, and she wants them to nurture that side of themselves too. And you're right, like I don't think that side, like she has such an acerbic wit, and I think with like just the way that's like sometimes people, especially like in like the soundbite era, process women that are like a little bit more sarcastic, and she's not gonna like just smile for no reason, she's not gonna like put on a show, but she's deeply authentic to who she is, and she has a very, very clear value system as well, that she lives up to. So I think it's both of those things, right? Like I do think that there's a level at which like if you're a player, Cheryl is where the buck stops. Like she is going to be the scout, the recruiter, the GM, the coach, and she's going to look for like-minded players. Like with the commenter saying that Lynx players are smart, and that's why the Wolves suck at defense. But I think like, well, she's going to bring in smart players. Like she is like, we look at these expansion franchises, right? And we talk about how lovely it is to have a blank space so you can have like a level of like institutional alignment, right? With Cheryl, it's like it really helps to have institutional alignment when like you're in charge of everything, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's also like, and this is just kind of a side, but like, you know, you have Janelle McCarville, Rebecca Brunson, Lindsay Whalen on the staff. Simone Augustus is in the building all the time. Still Fowles was like around pretty frequently before she got snatched away to Portland. Like it is, I hear like Greg Popovich like comparisons a lot, and honestly, like that's the comp for me, is like those two are on the Mount Rushmore of basketball coaches, and they both have figured out how to like have this institution of excellence, but also be like a human, which you mentioned, like Cheryl supporting like people speaking for their rights and they're speaking out. Like Annunciation Church shooting happens up here, like Cheryl same day has like a super powerful statement on that. Like state legislators get murdered, super powerful, rises to the occasion. Like she was out marching in the ICE marches and like spoke at the Target Center, and there was no plan for her to do that. She was just like, I want to do this and be with the community. Like, again, like I think that stuff matters to players more than us in the media give it credit when you just have someone that stands on business.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. There's no question about that. Frankly, I think that's what's going to make this next era of Minnesota ownership and how the franchise is stewarded very interesting as well. And I don't know if you want to get into that, but just thought I'd give you a segue.
they are pulling credentials from journalists, I hear, in the national sphere. So not the Lynx, but some teams.
Right. Yes.
I mean, there's going to be a weird. What I'll say is like covering the team, I haven't gotten any signs that like A-Rod and Lori aren't invested in the Lynx, and they honestly just leave Cheryl alone, which if you're an owner, that's the best thing you can do when you have a Cheryl Reeve, is just like leave her alone. I did want to ask you though, speaking of like next generation of the Lynx, you mentioned on your podcast today the Fee to Golden State tryout game last night. Just
the challenge,
I
like
guess
she's Zendaya and challengers watching both sides being like
I guess like I don't know, as someone that covers the team, like we're obviously whitewashed, right? You hear kind of what the team wants you to hear. You're around players that are like, you know, play for the organization. Like I kind of look at it of every game of just like, if Fee truly is about like winning, how can you look at like the best record in the league with Olivia Miles and not go like, this is where I can win? But also like I hear every day a different rumor of whether it's Golden State, whether it's LA, whether it's Chicago, Illinois, like, or Chicago, Indiana. Like, I guess where are you sitting at like the Fee 1-year contract, like what this season is?
Well, I think that in the sort of larger rumor mill, and like some people are incredible, some people are not, but I would say that in the larger sort of rumor mill of Fee related things, I think that there was a moment where things were quietly loud, and then they were quietly quiet, and then they were quietly loud again, and then they got like loud when she went on NPR and was, you know, I think reasonably non-committal about what her future is going to look like. And she is on a 1-year deal, and she is one of the top 5 superstars in this league and probably the second best player in this league. So, you know, it's a highly relevant situation anytime somebody on that level of stardom is only signing a 1-year deal and also not necessarily saying like, hey, I am excited to be in Minnesota for the rest of my career. I'd heard rumblings about Golden State, absolutely. And I think you like, I don't know, you know how this information stuff flows sometimes, where it's like there are times when you are like, it's like everybody thinks one thing is going to happen. And the thing is, the people in the know aren't always in the know either, right? Like there's a lot of putting together like different dominoes and things like that. But you know, I think with Minnesota, there's always a market aspect of it, which is unfortunate. Like I'm not saying it to be like that's awesome, but like it is just a factor. I am from Edmonton, Alberta. I really hope Connor McDavid spends the rest of his career in Edmonton. I don't know if he will, and I would not blame him if at one point he decided not to, right? Like that's just sort of like the reality of these things. What I will say though is that like, at least on my end, like things have quieted. Like they're not as loud as they used to be. And I don't know if that's like because the season has started, because, you know, you just want to focus on what's going on in Minnesota. I don't know if it's because of Olivia Miles. I don't know if it's just because people aren't talking to me. Like, you know what? I don't know. But I will say that there was a time when it felt loud, and it no longer really feels as loud. But there are also times when these things heat up versus when they don't. I would venture to guess that there's a level of pressure that Fee wants to exert on the organization. Maybe not Cheryl directly. It's like, it seems like her and Cheryl are pretty much in lockstep with what they, you know, kind of like their commitment to winning and excellence. And it seems like Fee is like kind of always, you know, in the mix as far as like being asked questions about like free agent decisions and things like that. It seems like her expertise is valued by Cheryl, right? So I imagine there's a level of pressure. I would say that it's probably, honestly, I think Cheryl said it best. She said that 15 teams are going to be vying for the services of Nafisa Collier, and we will be one of them. Yeah. And that's all I really meant in my podcast too, ultimately, because it's true. Look, she has never been a free agent in her life. Nope. She's a huge star. And I also think that she is somebody who, like, with the experience of Unrivaled, is understanding better how, like, the gears of certain things work, right? So, like, I don't know, it's probably like when there's stuff like going on in different organizations, like as far as like people getting laid off and things like that, like she's probably aware of it, right? And like who's being hired, who's being fired, like all those things, like who's the sort of like best at like their like promotion of stars, like who's the best at like I don't know, like, there's just 500 different things that go into operating a team, and I don't think that, like, WNBA players have always been smarter about those things, like understanding like the machinations and the gears of how sports work. Then with Fee, she's running a league, or she's helping run a league, or like her husband's running a league. She is very much around, and I think is able to see things from that light too. So, yeah, like I'm not like gonna sit here and say that she's leaving or anything like that. I think this situation in Minnesota for her is like you got Cheryl Reeve and Olivia Miles in the place that you've always played. She's a big star and she can go anywhere she wants. So I think it'd be human nature to just like, I don't know, she's gonna kick the tires, right? Like,
I mean, I thought when she signed the 1-year deal, and I said it here on a Crash Out pod for Lynx fans, of just like, it makes sense. Like, we don't know what this team's going to look like. We don't know what her ankles are going to look like. Honestly, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Fee 2 years from now does like a Maya Moore and is like, I have a higher calling than basketball. Like, Fee is a ridiculously like insightful and powerful human being. Like, I don't know what her future is, but like, if the Lynx started off 1-9, I think we would still be hearing every rumor and it would be really loud. And it probably should be, because if you're Fee and you're like, I have 2 ankles that are surgically repaired and I have X amount of years left in my prime, and if winning's the most important thing, if this team's 1-9 without me, it's probably a ways away here. I think the winning has helped. And I do agree with you. Like, I do think part of this is to hold, ownership, management kind of to the fire of like, make a contender around me. Like, make sure that this roster is the best it can be. Make sure, the funding doesn't fall off a cliff for the Lynx side of this organization. Like, I don't think Fee does much by accident is kind of my point with it.
No.
So,
well, that's what makes it, unfortunately, like, I get it from a Lynx fan perspective, but from like a reporting like perspective, it's just it's deeply, deeply relevant.
Yeah.
Like,
and I will say, like, kind of to echo your point, like, when she re-signed and she has this press conference with Court and K-Mac, and I think Myron Metcalf asked her, like, so are you like fixing to sign a 3-year deal this offseason? Like, what's the deal? And Fee was just like, I'm focused on my recovery. And then we asked her again on media day, like, hey, so this is weird. And she's like, I'm focused on my recovery. And then she does the NPR thing and says almost the identical same answer. Like, it did get loud. Like, I was very popular.
Somebody who probably hasn't made a decision yet.
Yeah. Like,
well, she is, and that's what she essentially said. She said, like, and she said she's never been a free agent before in her life, right? Like, she's gonna.
Which there's really good steakhouses in all of these cities.
This is true. Whatever she wants to eat, yeah, exactly.
NECA got balloons out of the occasion. Like,
I mean, didn't Clara Wu-Tsai like travel to Turkey or wherever on the Mediterranean coast Brianna Stewart was playing, and they went on a boat ride? Like, I want to go on a free boat ride in the Mediterranean.
If I was in the potential market to make millions of dollars for whatever talents I have, I would exploit the hell out of that.
Especially now. Like, I want to know what Joe Lacob has under his sleeve. I want to know. Is it a Hamptons 5 situation? Like, this is the recruiter. What's that?
That's the whining and dining from Joe Lacob is something that, like, you and I will never experience. That's like next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I will say I'm very relieved that they're good without Fee, because this had the potential of taking over the entire season, which
that can get very frustrating.
If Fee comes back and this team looks like a well-oiled machine, we probably won't hear about it until the offseason. But like, for Lynx fans, unfortunately, it's probably going to flare back up around the trade deadline.
Yeah. I would even imagine. I wonder if there's a level at which like Fee is going to hear everybody's recruiting pitch just so she knows what it is. So that like when she goes to Unrivaled the next year, she's like, okay, so this is how we pitch superstars. Like she's such a systems person. I wonder if it's just like her being like, well, I get to be in these rooms where like people that have a lot of power are wooing me and they're trying to exert influence over me. What does that feel like? What are their strategies? She just seems like the type of person who would want to have that experience, just to like, even if she's not going to go somewhere, to file it away for future use.
This is like the weirdest dichotomy with Fee is like that side of her exists, right? Like we all hear about it in the media of like how kind of smart and savvy Fee is, from Unrivaled to like everything. So like that side of her exists. But then she has the most like ho-hum, like normal person vibe, like ever. Like trips getting up to the podium like half of the time, like says shucks. Yeah. Like she's just like the most normal human being or normal superstar I've for sure ever been around. Like especially like covering the NBA and the WNBA. Like Ant just has like a glow around him almost. It's just he's so kind of like quirky and isolated, and then you meet Fee.
He's just such an obvious celebrity.
Yeah.
Like Ant is just like, he's so clearly a celebrity. He's like, I'm pulling up with like the sickest car. I have an obvious celebrity aura to me. Like when I smile, it like you can picture it on a billboard. Like it's just
I'm gonna wear a white tank and sweatpants to every avail. Like he's just like you see the like outline of him on a billboard, kind of like you said. Like it's just like this is a big deal. And then you like get into an elevator with Fee and she's just like watching TikTok with the sound up too high, and it's like, oh, you're just like a normal
Where are your AirPods?
Like literally,
where are your AirPods?
Oh, you're like a normal person that probably like got your AirPods in your car and like had to rush to practice, and it's just such a weird.
She's like catching up on a podcast before she like goes and gets Mila. Like
literally. Like I that's one of my favorite things to ask Lynx players is just like, is it weird that she's so boring? Like outside of like basketball. And I asked Liv it after the game last night because Fee's like talking to her the entire game nonstop, every dead ball. And Liv's just like, yeah, no, she's just like talking about like TV, like whatever. And then like, yeah, she's just knows every meme.
Yeah, she's like, she's terminally online. Yeah.
That
was awesome.
And like K-Mac and Court have said kind of the same thing of just like, yeah, she's just like the team mom. She takes care of everyone. It's like, okay. Yeah. Generational superstar. Just turns out they're really normal. I don't know. Just like all right, that's all I had. I kept you 20 minutes later than I should have, and you said you're going to a basketball game. So, Seerat, thank you so much for doing this. I mean, anything you got to plug? Anything fun coming out? You ranked the top 25 under 25.
Yes, I made a list, and everyone loved it.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you make lists. People, they ate it up. They ate it up. They gave me a prize. I think I'm being awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom pretty soon.
Do you have to go to the UFC thing to get it, or can they just like make
right? True. We might. You know what? We might just wait a couple years on that one. I'll see if I can push it down the road. But no, yeah, I ranked the top 25 players under 25. Olivia Miles was obviously on that list. I put her at 6 at the time, only because I do think that there's some scheduling stuff with Minnesota. I wanted to see what she looked like. It came out before the Valkyries game. I think that she could very quickly climb even higher on that list, but she's fantastic. And as of course, Ringer WNBA Show, or my podcast.
Awesome. Thank you for doing this. Have a good rest of the night. For anyone that came into this late, does get posted up on X, YouTube, and Buzzer as soon as I end stream. If you don't want to watch this tonight, because I don't think it's thunderstorming outside yet, so maybe you have more time to do stuff before it does start thunderstorming. It does come out as a podcast tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. That would be Saturday. And then we are going to be doing a middle of the day post game live with King of B after the Seattle game. Everyone bring your tissues because T versus Court is going to be a sad one, I think.
Yeah. Wait, one question for you.
Yeah.
Is there a cooler backcourt in the WNBA than Courtney Williams and Olivia Miles?
No.
The answer is obviously no. That's it.
No. I don't know if someone was fighting you on that and that's what prompted that question, but like it is. Courtney Williams is like, again, we're on minute 59.
She's a celebrity.
I already went.
She's a celebrity.
Yeah. She has the same like.
She's got aura. Aura. She's got Aunt aura. Yeah.
Like comes in, like daps up the first row of the press conference and then like goes and does her thing. Like she is awesome. She's just an awesome person. And then you throw her next to Liv and K-Mac. It's no, they're by far the coolest backcourt. Awesome. Who's even in contention?
Paige and Azzy, maybe. Paige and Azzy are pretty cool, and like Enrique's pretty cool.
I guess
it's not. Yeah, like there's no. It's like there's a steep drop from 1 to 2. Yeah.
No. All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon.